Shalom, shalom. All praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Bahasham, Rachak, Kwadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone who rule well, pushing his 100% to the gospel, waking up and sealing the elect of the nation of Israel through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh. And salutations to all your sincere Akim that are preaching this gospel in all righteousness and in all sincerity, risking your lives and your freedom to do so. Alright, this is your brother Abara once again with another lesson, and what I want to go into is reincarnation basically, and our people, okay, before they were taken into those slave ships to go to Babylon, and even in the northern kingdom, okay, they believed in reincarnation, because what you have with plantation Christianity, okay, with the Roman Catholicization of Christianity, Catholic Christianity, whatever you want to call it, okay, is the idea that once you die, that's it, okay. You either go to heaven, alright, and stay with the Most High, which of course, according to the scriptures, is false, or you go to hell, once again, according to the scriptures, is false, and burn for all eternity with the devil. But in all actuality, what actually happens is, I said actuality, anyway, what happens is that when you die, alright, your body goes up to the heavens and you receive your judgment and come back and live that judgment here on earth through the act of reincarnation. And the word reincarnation means back in the flesh. Alright, so let me get the etym to prove that, okay, because it's been a while since I've gone into this, so I'll just bring it out. This was another lesson, you know. Anyway, let me type that down. If you know that I've actually done that, so let me just type it down, just to prove that that is exactly what reincarnation means. Right, so this is the word for reincarnation. Fact of repeated incarnation, from re meaning back or again, and incarnation meaning a new embodiment, okay, back in the flesh, back in back in a human body on the earth. Okay, so what I have right here is an article going into, let me get that, the Igbo people, and if you don't know it, because I've mentioned this multiple times, okay, that I am actually from the Igbo tribe in Nigeria, okay. So that's where my ancestry goes back to, and that's the Israelite tribe I belong to, okay, the tribe of Judah, of Igbo ancestry. So what I have here is Salkia. I have to get this article somewhere else, because okay, let me use this. Alright, still not, it's not displaying properly. So okay, the article is not this article is not displaying properly. I just wanted to get this abstract, okay. So I'm just going to have to you put this link in another browser, and I like to use the DuckDuckGo because it's been proven to be more anonymous than any other browser. So let me use this one, Google Chrome. Alright, so I want to get an article that shows that the Igbo people, okay, they believed in reincarnation, because before our people, the southern kingdom especially, was carried over to Babylon, they believed in reincarnation. They believed that when you died, okay, you came back through the line of your family, because you have different types of reincarnation that people believe in, because like, for example, you have this Buddhist not Buddhist, like the Hindu reincarnation in the Far East Asia, specifically India, where if you die, you come back as an animal or as a plant or stuff like that. But we believe that if you when you so like this is still acting up. But anyway, as I was saying, that we believe that when you died, okay, according to the Igbo belief, when you died, you came back through the bloodline of your family, okay, through the line of your fathers, the same way the scriptures do, the same way as it is written in the scriptures, and of course we get all those precepts, which shows you, okay, that the Igbos, alright, not just the Igbos, but also the majority of the tribes in West Africa go back to Israel. Alright, so this is the article basically. The modern, and let me just read the title. The belief in reincarnation among the Igbo of Nigeria and the Yoruba also believe in reincarnation as well, okay. But this is, and the beliefs are actually similar, showing that you have the same what's what I'm looking for, because because they are the same people, whether they want to agree to that or not. Through prophecy and through the scriptures, when you can see that clearly. All right, so this is the article. I'm just going to read a little bit of it. The modern Igbo of Nigeria, even when adhering to the Christian religion, have preserved many features of the Igbo traditional religion. The belief in reincarnation seems to be particularly strong. The Igbo believe that reincarnation usually occurs within the same immediate or extended family. Alright, that's exactly how it is. And because once again, the Igbos are Israelites. They are descended from the tribe of Israel, okay, specifically the tribe of Judah that came down to West Africa due to I forget, I believe it was I forget the exact Caesar. I think it was Titus that chased all the Jews out of Judea during that time, okay? And I continue. They try to identify the reincarnated ancestor by means of birthmarks, because there is a traditional belief here in Nigeria that a birthmark is actually where you are killed, or where you are injured in your past life. And continue. Statements a child makes when it becomes able to speak, and behavioral resemblances between the child and the deceased person of whom it is the presumed reincarnation. Alright, because once again, we're all spirits in bodies, okay? So some of the memories that you might have from your past life might carry over to the spirit that you are, the spirit, that spirit that is in that new body, okay? That's why that's why some people might have resemblances to their forefathers in the past. Okay, that's why you might see some people that have some characteristics or say or know some things that only people that there are people that are only people that were alive during the time of or only people that was Salakia. I try to articulate what I want to say, but let me say that again. You might have people that know some things that only the people that were alive during that time, okay, should know, right? During the time of the ancestors, the forefathers, okay, that have passed away, who should know, right? So I can continue on. Oracles are frequently consulted to make or confirm an identification. The Igbo believe that deceased persons inhabit a discarnate realm, but they conceive this as an undesirable and this is just going into this is just going into the Igbo version of the reincarnation belief, because at the end of the day it is not according to the scriptures, holy, because just an abstraction of the truth, alright, because you know how Jake is, they like to mix and mingle, they mix their heritage, the Hebrew heritage, with whatever new thing or whatever thing the Hamites, they find in whatever land they are in. And this is this is mixing the truth, okay, our Hebrew heritage with a little bit of the heritage of the Hamites, which of course, like I said before in the previous video, that Jake is fond of. But anyway, that's basically it on the article. I just wanted to bring that out a little bit just to show, alright, where our people's heads were at concerning reincarnation. They believed in it wholly, okay. They knew in some way, shape or form that their ancestors came back through their lines, okay, because that's exactly what reincarnation is, once again, back in the flesh. So let me get some precepts going into that. So the first one I want to get is I've gotten this preset a lot. I've been getting this preset a lot recently. So the book of Ecclesiastes, the 3rd chapter, and I'll start from here. Ecclesiastes 3 verse 15, and it reads, "That which hath been is now, and that which is to be hath already been, and the Most High requireth that which is past. And moreover, I saw under the sun the place of judgment, that wickedness was there, and the place of righteousness, that iniquity was there." Right, basically showing you that the place of judgment that is under the sun is the earth, man. Alright, so the earth is the place of judgment, the place where you come back to receive your judgment for what you did in your past life, or even in your current life as well, okay? Because once again, alright, when you die, you do not go to heaven or hell. Alright, okay, you go to the heavens, but you don't stay there, for all eternity. Okay, you go to the heavens to receive your judgment, and then you come back to the earth to play out that judgment, okay, to get basically to play out that judgment. That's the best word to use, okay, because Hell is simply the grave. Hell is simply a condition, it's not a place. Alright, it's a condition. It is either death or terrible, terrible judgment, okay? That's basically all that it is. All that it's like a that is basically all there is to it, okay? Because you don't have, all right, people that are burning for all eternity in hell, or people that are just with the most high, just vibing up with the most high in heaven, for all eternity, all eternity, after living only one lifetime, okay? Because the spirits that are within us, okay, the spirits that are in our bodies are are basically thousands of years old, that continue coming back and continue they will come back continuously on the earth, all right? Because that is exactly how the Most High hath made it. That's why in the book of Exodus, the 20th chapter, it tells you that what? And the Most High and let me, I have to get that. I have to get that. And that's basically going into reincarnation, okay? Exodus 20, and I'll start from, and this I'll be verse 5. Exodus 20, verse 5. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them nor serve them. For I, Yahweh thy power, am a jealous power, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me. Okay, because according to because that is usually when you are born back. Okay, during the third of after the third or the fourth generation after you. Okay, either the third and your fourth generation of your family line, or through somebody else. Okay, and that's why you have even more laws. Okay, going into this very act of reincarnation, okay, because there's a law in the scripture that says that if a man has a wife, and let me get that, you have to perform I believe it's the duty of the brother, or the duty of the king, and basically what that means is the duty of the king's man, not the duty of the brother. Let me get that. It's not, it's just, what the word that is here is brother, but if you go into the Hebrew, the actual word is kinsman. I forget the exact word that is used, but basically the same word that is used in Deuteronomy 28 verse 68, where it talks about no man buying you. Okay, the word let me see that. Let me see. I don't think this is the word. I don't think this isn't the one I'm looking for. But basically, yeah, that wasn't the exact word. That wasn't the exact word. That was my bad. But basically, alright, you perform the duty of the kinsman, which is, if, and let me just read the precept instead of instead of talking about it. Since I'm already here, let me just read it. Deuteronomy 25 verse 5, and it reads, if brethren dwell together and one of them die and have no child, the wife of the dead shall not marry without unto a stranger. Her husband's brother shall go in unto her and take her to him to wife, and perform the duty of an husband's brother unto her. And that is your duty, okay, as the younger brother. And guess what, okay? The Igbos practice this law. It's actually the Igbos actually practice this law. Okay, that was in the past. Okay, before it's just colonization. They don't do it anymore because they basically forgotten about it. But it actually used to happen. You can watch some Nigerian movies about it. They talk about it that if I don't know, maybe probably still practice it even to this day. But basically, if as a man, you marry a wife and you die childless, which is why once again, there was this parable that the Pharisees gave unto Yahushua, okay, the 7 men that married the same woman. The reason why they kept the 7 brothers kept on dealing with that woman was because of this law, okay. And that's the same reason why, if you remember, according in the book of Genesis, Judah had 2 sons, Er and Onan, okay. The first son died, he died, and the second son, Onan, was supposed to go in unto Tamar, okay, in order to give birth to Er's bloodline. But when he was, but you know what the scripture says, man, when he was about to ejaculate basically, he's starting to ejaculate he's starting to ejaculate into the woman, and I'm getting a little graphic here, so you have to bear with me, okay. This is really not going to be this video is not going to be for children. But anyway, let me just go through it anyway. As soon as he was about to ejaculate, instead of to ejaculate inside Tamar, he poured it on the ground, as the scripture says, and the Most High struck him dead right there because he refused to do this law, okay. The same reason why Judah hid his son from Tamar, because he knew that he had to fulfill this law, okay. It had to keep on going until basically there were no brothers left, okay. So basically if there's 14 brothers and all 13 of them died, the woman has to go through all 14 of them, okay, until a son is born. That is the only way that she can get out of that whole thing. Until a son is born, and the reason why that son is being born is to continue the bloodline through reincarnation. Okay, that's the main reason why the son is born, so that that man will have a you have a basically somebody to reincarnate through. And that's why, okay, doing in the Maccabees as well, because you see multiple examples of this very thing. Okay, that's why in the Maccabees, when I believe it was Benjamin, I made this mistake before, but Judah and Simon, the first Judah and Simon, they both died. Okay, and the last son, and I've forgotten his name again, but I believe his name was Benjamin. He named his children Judah and Simon, okay, because what? Because of that same law of reincarnation, okay, so that those people will have a memorial in in Israel, okay, and they'll also have a line to come back through when they want to be reincarnated, okay, because that is how that basically what it is to die. To die is to go. As scripture says, as scripture says, to be. Let me get that. This is proof that nobody goes to hell. Okay, everybody goes to heaven. He then is sought to third the elect as well, because it said, the scripture said that what, to be absent from the body is to be present with the Most High. Okay. Here it is. 2 Corinthians 5 verse 8, and it reads, "We are confident, I say, and willing rather to be absent from the body and to be present with the Lord." Okay, because what once you leave this body, and let me get another precept. It says that what, who knoweth the spirit of man that goeth up into the heaven, and the spirit of the beast that goeth down to the earth. So this is the book of Ecclesiastes 3 verse 21 and Ecclesiastes 3 verse 20. I'll start from verse 20. Ecclesiastes 3 verse 20. All go unto one place, all are of the dust, and all turn to dust again, and that being turned to dust is death. That is the hell right there. Alright, who knoweth the spirit of man that goeth upward, and the spirit of the beast that goeth downward to the earth? Because once as a man, once you die, you are going upward straight into the heavens, to the Most High, to receive your judgment. Okay, and that's why they say that Yahushua spent 3 days in hell, because he spent that means that he was dead for 3 days, and he was raised up again at the last day. Okay, because he was dead. Okay, that's what that hell is, Gehenna or Shawal, meaning the grave. Okay, 6 feet under. That's basically all it pertains to. And you have other examples or other scriptures that reference reincarnation. Like for example, the man that was born, that was blind from his birth, Yahushua healed. Okay, they reference. They just asked him the question. Let me get that. So this is the book of John 9 verse 1, and it reads, "And as Yahushua passed by, he saw a man which was blind from his birth, and his disciples asked him, saying, Master, who did sin, this man or his parents, that he was born blind?" Okay, so that question, it raised some eyebrows, because first of all they're asking whether it was the man that was responsible for him being born blind, which of course, if you understand what that statement, it's basically saying that before the man was born, he committed a sin that made him born blind. Okay, so how did he commit that sin? Okay, how did he sin against the Most High before he was born? He did it in his past life, and his judgment on the earth for being wicked in his past life is what? Being blind from his birth. That's why you have some people being. That's why you have people that are hella messed up on this side. Like for example, here in Nigeria and in most third world countries, polio is still running around very rampant, man. And you see people get all kinds of but that's why you see people being born deformed. Okay, being born with retarded with syndromes like Down syndrome, with palsies, being born paralyzed, conjoined twins, being born without limbs. Okay, you see people, and even going on down. It doesn't have to be something that you are born with, but something that you develop as you go on. Okay, like being paralyzed from the waist down, or even being born a dwarf, or even having your testicles being crushed. That's all judgments, man. Because because there's a law in the scripture that says that what if you are born, um if you have your balls crushed, your testicles crushed, or if you are born a dwarf, you cannot enter into the temple, okay? Because that's what judgment from the Most High. Being born a dwarf is judgment, and because I'm not really going to go into that. I'm being paralyzed. Having all that's why you see people getting all messed up. Diseases, the diseases and disorders on in their body. Okay, even have some people that can't even go out into the sunlight. Okay, because we joke about Esau having skin cancer. Okay, the sun rejecting him, but you have Edomites. Okay, that their own condition is so severe that they can't even be around any form of light, fluorescent light or light bulbs, or they can't even go to it. Okay, they can't be there. They have to live in darkness because their skin will basically flare up if they are exposed to to sunlight, or even if just a normal light bulb is enough to destroy their skin. All right, and for more proof of reincarnation, you also have precepts in which men were talking about how Yahushua was one of the prophets come back, okay, or how Yahushua was Elijah Elijah, or I should say John the Baptist come back, and how and even the whole matter of John the Baptist, who he was. That is also going into reincarnation, because you have it, the scripture saying in the book of Malachi, the 4th chapter, that said that what that in the end of days, okay, the Most High will bring, and let me get that precept. Alright, these is all evidence of reincarnation in the scriptures, okay, because we know that reincarnation is 100% scriptural, because if it is not, they are denying, they are denying a lot of the doctrine, okay, especially who John the Baptist was. So this is the book of Malachi 4 verse 5, and it reads, "Behold, I will send you Elijah the prophet before the coming of the great and dreadful day of Yahweh." Alright, which was sent during the time of Yahushua to prophesy the coming of Yahushua, okay, to make straight. And let me get verse 6 before I continue. Malachi 4 verse 6. "And he shall turn the heart of the fathers to the children, and the heart of the children to their fathers, lest I come and smite the earth with a curse." Okay, so basically, Elijah came back as John the Baptist to warn our people, or rather to make the way for Yahushua, because all the scriptures say that that there shall be a voice crying in the wilderness, and this is all prophecy, of course. That there shall be a voice crying in the, let me get that, the voice crying in the wilderness. And let's get two precepts. I want to get the one in the Old Testament first. It's like I don't know the other precepts, so I have to search for it. Okay, it is. Book of Isaiah 40, from the 3rd verse, Isaiah chapter 40 verse 3. "The voice of him that crieth in the wilderness, prepare ye the way of Yahweh, make straight in the desert a highway for our power. Every valley shall be exalted, and every mountain and hill shall be made low, and the crooked shall be made straight, and the rough places plain." And that is basically an allegory, okay, an analogy for our people, okay. Our people are the valley, basically in a lower state right now. We are going to be raised up and exalted, and the mountains and the hills, okay, Esau being the mountain and these other nations being the hills, they shall be made low. In other words, they're going to be abased, man. They're going to be, because what, these nations are going into captivity under the Israelites, and the crooked shall be made straight. In other words, the elect, okay, our people will be delivered they will be delivered from, first of all, this kingdom, and from death and sin, okay, the sting of death, it's like the sting of this of sin, okay, which is death, and the rough places made plain. All right, so let me get that precept now. Let me get that one in the comments. Alright, book of Matthew chapter 3, and I'll start from verse 1. Matthew 3 verse 1. "In those days came John the Baptist preaching in the wilderness of Judea, and saying, Repent ye, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. For this is he that was spoken of by the prophet Isaiah, which we just read right now. That was the book of Isaiah, okay, saying, the voice of one in the wilderness, prepare ye the way of Yahweh, make his path straight. And this is telling you that what John the Baptist was, the reincarnation of Elijah. Okay, he was the one that was sent, to turn the hearts of our people back to Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. Okay, which of course that's why we believe, okay, through the Spirit, that the elder high priest of our Bivens, all right, is John the Baptist, because he came and he was the first one that brought out this truth. Okay, in this truth, he was not like carried this truth to the level that it has been, and other men came into his labor and increased upon it, and now we are where we are with this truth, 100% of it. All right, but it wouldn't have been, it wouldn't have come to be without elder apostle about elder the elder Abba Bivens. Okay, that's just basically what going into more reincarnation, because you have men, all right, the prophets that are the prophets of old coming back again in their lots, which is basically to prophesy. Like for example, in the book of Daniel 12, you hear the Most High telling Daniel, I said that was, Go thy way, Daniel, unto the NB, and thou shalt prophesy, stand in thy lot again and prophesy to the and prophesy basically. Alright, because and the scriptures also tell you that what the spirit of the prophets are subject to the prophets. Okay, meaning that majority, most of the men that you see, that are written about in this book that are prophets, okay, are back here again prophesying, because that a lot of the prophets are back in the spirit realm, okay, but majority of them are here on the earth right now prophesying. The prophets of old, all these great men that you see talking about the downfall and destruction of this kingdom, the different precepts that I went to read, majority of a lot of them are back here again on the highways and byways, doing this work as well in righteousness and sincerity, hoping for that salvation, okay, because once again of reincarnation, okay, and even our Lord Yahweh Shai, okay, he reincarnated as well, because how the scripture is saying, he was Adam, okay, he was King Solomon, he was all these people, but now he is now in the heavens with the Most High, okay, he's now with the Heavenly Father. He's no longer coming to the earth to reincarnate over and over again, and pretty soon we will be just like him, okay, because the scriptures say that because basically that's what the scriptures say. That's one of the promises that we will receive in the kingdom. Right, we won't have to be reincarnating anymore, because we won't have to die anymore. Okay. So yeah, our people, okay, they have, we have a rich history, a rich heritage as Israelites, which we have carried to all the captivities that we've been in one way or another. Remembering, all right, the past, okay, remembering the laws, following it, okay. Like a good example would be the law of circumcision, which so many people here in West Africa practice, what was it I'm looking for? Practice, religiously, because of course it's our religion. But anyway, and of course, the other apostle, I did a video preview, if almost a year ago now, where I was going into how almost 100% of men in West Africa are circumcised, because they were Israelites, and most of those circumcision would happen on the 8th day. And I actually did a lesson about that, in camp, about that circumcision, okay, showing you, because circumcision was a covenant that the Most High made with Abraham. The basic that the promise of Abraham is in that circumcision, okay, that what you will circumcise your seed on the 8th day, all right, as a sign for the promise as a sign of the promise that the Most High Yahweh made to our forefather Abraham, which is why our people still do it to this day, because the Most High has not forgotten the promise to our people, even though we have forgotten, okay. Yahweh Bashim Yahushua did not forget, and he made sure that our people, you still have Israelites that circumcise their seed, alright, to make sure that promise, to show that promise had not been forgotten. So with that, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai Bahasham Racha Kwadash Wa Abad Babal, and through the Spirit of Akmayu Akwat wa edified. Shalom.